Thanks for tuning in to Red Belt Radio. The following episode is scheduled for one fall. I'm Jason, and this show is dedicated to World Wonder Ring Stardom. Today I'm covering the all-important opening night of the 5-Star Grand Prix, which took place on July 27th, 2025. Stardom is swinging for the fences with this tournament, with its inclusion of 32 competitors, its crisscrossing storylines, and its goal of elevating the prestige of several wrestlers all at the same time. With the company taking swings at so many moving targets, this show ended up with a simultaneous collection of hits and misses. The event featured 17 matches, which, aside from being too many, gave us a ton to process. So let's at least start the process. If you find these transmissions valuable, please give this a like, subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment to let me know what you think. There's no better place to begin than with recent exploits of the H.A.T.E faction. H.A.T.E finds themselves in a similar place to last year, holding some major championships going into this tournament and getting on everyone's nerves in the process. But unlike last year, H.A.T.E is actually backing up their front and center status with tournament results across the board. All 7 members of H.A.T.E featured in this tournament, every last one of them scored points on the GP's opening night, with Konami beating the current IWGP champion and Natsuko Tora beating the current New Japan Strong Women's Champion, and even with the exploits of Ruaka, who was the only H.A.T.E wrestler to not earn 2 full points with a victory, but still held off Bozilla, arguably the scariest physical force in the GP. The H.A.T.E faction ended up with a lot to celebrate. But this booking of Bozilla might be considered a miss depending on how you look at things. Bozilla, in a span of a few days, has failed to make an example of Azumi and has failed to make an example of Ruaka. I'm hoping for her to start terrorizing the tournament right away from here. Regardless, the clear point that Stardom is making is that H.A.T.E is a sinister entity to struggle against. The story of this GP, as the tournament continues to develop, will be the story of who will defy the odds, defy this heel faction, and ultimately defeat them. Unless I'm mistaken, Stardom is also trying to make H.A.T.E less appealing when compared to the good guys in this story. I'm not saying it's working, but note that no members of the faction whatsoever took part in the 5 Stars opening ceremony. I'm beginning to believe less and less that a member of H.A.T.E will actually be winning this tournament, unless it is Saya Kamitani herself, the Red Belt champion of Stardom, who should be remaining extremely popular no matter what heelish choices she makes. But now's a good time to talk about arguably the biggest upset of the 5 Stars opening night. Konami versus Sareee from Blue Stars B. It's possible you'll disagree, but I think it's fairly clear that Stardom has been trying to book H.A.T.E as the irredeemable villains in this current angle with Sareee, the IWGP champion. In both the Korakuen Hall match on July 24th and in this one, H.A.T.E has been viciously beating their opponents after the match is over and continually antagonizing the freelancer Sareee at every opportunity. But in a compelling turn of events, the fans have seemingly hijacked this storyline and have unquestionably taken H.A.T.'s side. Sareee is the most booed person in Stardom, and nothing she did in this 5-star fight could get the crowd back. To discuss why this is the case probably deserves a longer and more focused bit of coverage. But Konami's quote-unquote revenge on behalf of Syuri received a tremendous ovation from the crowd, regardless of how nasty Konami had been in the process or afterwards. I suspect Stardom went into both the Korakuen show and this one with the intention of gaining crowd sympathy for Sareee. And that goal appears to be one of Stardom's recent misses. Regardless, I think that Stardom probably intended for Sareee to build herself back up after this Konami loss and go on a deadly run in the 5-star. Stardom will probably stay the course and go with this anyway, but I can't help wondering how many fans will support the move. Next, we'll talk about the biggest miss of the entire show, which is simply the number of matches on the card in total. 17 matches felt like too much from the get-go, and certainly proved to be too much in hindsight. So many of these battles were cut short or given abrupt endings to the point of lacking verisimilitude and lacking dramatic weight. Even the opening ceremony itself felt rushed, and so did every wrestler's entrance. This combination of quick-moving moments just made the show feel less meaningful than it could have. We'll quickly now cover the current block standings after the opening night. Leading Blue Stars A are Miyu Amasaki, Saori Ano, and Ami Sourei with 2 points each. Bozilla and Ruaka are next in line with 1 point each. Leading Blue Stars B are Momo Watanabe, Hanako, Suzu Suzuki, and Konami with 2 points each. Leading Red Stars A are B. Priestley, Saya Kamitani, Mei Sarah, and Azusa Inaba with 2 points each. And leading Red Stars B are Rina, Natsuko, Tomoka Inaba, and Natsuko Tora with 2 points each. Please keep your eyes peeled for the further exploits of Stars leader Hanan. Her career path was rapidly accelerated last year, and the same thing could be happening right now. Because she was pinned on the 24th to lose the goddess belts for Wing Gory, and was also pinned on the opening night of the 5-star, Hanan is now in strong position for a major comeback, with the sky truly being the limit for her. Faction leadership, new gear, and a path of redemption are key ingredients for what might become Hanan's tournament-winning journey. To summarize where we are at following Night 1, H.A.T.E stands tall as the primary threat of this tournament, with all members scoring points and a clear motivation for the Stardom roster to take them down. Sareee and Hanan are both at low points, and are both probably gearing up for redemption. But in Saree's case, the fans have not been interested. And on that note, I should also mention that the IWGP champion, New Japan Women's Strong champion, and White Belt champion all lost their matches on the opening night. Don't be at all surprised if Konami challenges Sareee one day, or if Natsuko Tora challenges Azumi, or if Tomoka Inaba challenges Starlight Kid. What do you think were the hits and misses of the 5-star GP opening night? What do you think Stardom should do about the crowd support for H.A.T.E and the crowd dismissal of Sareee? And whose story are you most invested in as the tournament unfolds? As the GP point distribution and brackets continue to develop, we'll be sure to cover more of the Grand Prix's biggest stories. And if you need a refresher course on the H.A.T.E faction, check out my Guide to H.A.T.E video in the description below. You can also check out my 5 signs that Saori Ano wins the 5-star in the description as well. If you found this transmission valuable, please give this a like, subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment to let me know what you think. Thanks for listening to Red Belt Radio.